this can't be a program that's based on people being perfect.
Right.
Because life is not perfect. People are not perfect. Perfect's not sustainable. Perfect gets in the way of great, gets in the way of good, gets in the way of progress.
Yes.
Perfect makes people quit because they can't do it. And so perfect could never be part of it. So, I think if you're 75% keeping track, 75% drinking your water, 75% within the +2 and -2, and I would see results. And so I started to see meaningful results. And so, just to tell you, once upon a time, one of my goal weights was 170. Well, when I started this plan, the plan is the first part of Weight Mastery Program. When I started this plan, I was well into the 180s. And so I got to the 170s relatively quickly and easily because I had my deal breakers. No food was off limits. I was eating to satisfy when I was hungry. I was hydrated. Like, this was awesome. I'm drinking wine. And then, but I'd said to myself when I started this, I wanted to get to the 160. And so I got to the 160 relatively quickly, relatively simply. But then I kept the principles going and I kept losing weight. And then I realized that I was now working with my body, with my body's hunger signals, and that 160 was still overweight for my body. And then I got to the 150s. And that was manageable. I didn't feel deprived. I wasn't starving. I was eating pizza, drinking wine. And then I got into the 140s. And now I'm flirting with 130s. And I realized what I thought was impossible is totally possible.
Yeah.
Once I figured out my hunger, figured out how to get in tune with my body. And so what it did for me, I went from ashamed, depressed, humiliation, total self-loathing. And I'm starting to feel better about myself. And I'm going out more. And I'm taking more risks. And I'm signing up for things. And feeling that life is possible. And I'm actually turning the camera on the Zoom meetings. And, I can't tell you how many times I've had to go out and buy new clothing, and I'm absolutely not complaining. I'm totally happy with that.
Yep.
And the transformation to feel really good about me is priceless.
Yeah. Yeah. So Sue, let me ask you, what does it feel like now that you are in control of something that you have spent your entire life allowing to control you?
I pinch myself every now and then. I actually think I found the secret to this universe for me.
Yep.
And we've tested it, and it's working for other people really as well.
Yep.
The word that comes to mind is freedom.
Yeah.
Is freedom.
Yeah.
And the amount of time I spent struggling with my weight, and the amount of self-talk that would consume me is gone.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to think, I'm going to be 67 in less than a week.
That's
and
incredible.
I'm thinking, I've started 3 businesses. I'm public speaking now. I'm doing things that I wouldn't have thought possible, but I have the energy, I have the mind space, I have the focus, and more importantly, I have the confidence of knowing that I can do this.
Yeah.
I can totally do this.
Yeah.
I'm not cocky. I still keep track. I still weigh myself every single day, and I will not do that. But the freedom
You know, you said something there that was really interesting to me. You said that you had convinced yourself of one thing, but proven something completely different.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that, you know, as human beings, that's really where we get to, right? We think in terms of our own limitations and for what's possible for us, because we're thinking about what's possible based on information that we already have. And so based on everything that you already knew, right? 160 was something that you struggled with. 170 was more realistic, but 175 now you're getting into comfort territory because of what you knew. But as soon as you started to expand on what you knew and you opened up your mind and your heart to new ideas, then it never was, 160 was never the goal, right? It was just like a way to sort of checkpoint. Because I remember as you were approaching 160, it was very similar to the way that I was approaching 225. And it was like, well, where did that 160 and 225 come from? The universe. It's just an arbitrary number that we made up. And then we convinced ourselves it wasn't possible, so don't even think it. But when you remove that limitation, when you don't start with what you think is possible, instead, well, how far can this go? You know,
Curiosity.
What's possible for me if I just continue down this path? And then what happens is you're not attached to this number goal, which you have no connection to or you have no feeling around. You just build the person who has the habits and then let the habits take you in whatever direction you want to go, right?
Right.
So it's almost counterintuitive to how, you know, we set a goal, I want to make this much money, or I want to be this weight, or I want to lose this much weight. And then we struggle against that number, but really the number doesn't make any difference. The number is just a construct.
And it's, for me, that 160 was a real stretch, and it was like, what could I achieve?
Yeah.
Not what I really wanted, but
No.
a marginalized version of what I could achieve.
Yes.
And we found this to be true, Kevin, for most everybody that was on our pilot program. And it reminds me of Rhoda.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of the things, you know, the foundational piece is curiosity.
Yeah, 100%.
And part of that curiosity is to challenge what you think you know about weight loss and sustaining it. And Rhoda came from this belief that you have to tighten your belt. You have to deprive, you have to do without, you can never have. I remember her telling us a story about driving home from church one day, and she passed this favorite bakery of hers, and there was these chocolate croissants, something, and dreaming and mouth-watering about these croissants, and the group said to her, work it into your program. And she stopped, and she had built it into her plan. She had this chocolate croissant, and it was not quite as good as she thought it was going to be, because she'd really built it up.
Yeah.
But she had it, she enjoyed it, and then she took, you know, she kept track of what she had, and she said she was mortified that this one chocolate, whatever it was over a third of what she should have for the day. And I said, well, it's your choice.
Yeah.
She said, well, I'm not making that choice again.
Right.
I'm going to pick something that'll give me the same gratification, but won't spend a third of my daily calories for the day. And so we circled back afterwards, and I forget what it was she said she tried. It was something different, but something just as sweet. She said, I got the same benefit, but it didn't consume everything.
Right.
And, you know, we asked everybody on the program, you know, why they wanted to reduce weight and how they felt. And she said she felt, her word was fluffy.
Right.
And I said, okay, what does fluffy mean?
Yeah.
Well, to her, fluffy meant that she was jiggly, and she was soft in the middle and soft around the hips. and that she really filled her clothing out. And I said, "Is fluffy a comfortable feeling?" She said, "No, not at all." And I said, "Are you proud of being fluffy?" Absolutely not. She was ashamed
Yep.
of that title. You know, she made fun of it because that's what it was.
Yep.
But what she really wanted to be, she wanted to feel proud of herself.
Yep.
She wanted to be confident, and she wasn't feeling that way. And she was shying away from social engagements, and she was looking at going to find a partner and looking at dieting sites and felt horrible about how she looked. So she said that, you know, I would do a photograph, but only from the chin up,
Yeah.
not anything below desk height.
Yep.
And, you know, she said I would hold my breath through the picture. And so, you know, fast forward to the end of the program, and I think over the 3-month period, she was down 16 or 17 pounds and into a lower size. And when I asked her how she felt, and we all laughed at this, because she said 2 words, "Not fluffy,"
Yes.
which was hysterical. Maybe talk about Jane.
Yeah, we'll talk about Jane. For me, she was the most interesting person, or one of the most interesting people in our program, because all she wanted to lose was 10 pounds. And then when we sat down with her and we asked her, well, why is 10 pounds important to you? And you know, she hummed and hawed. Well, I want to fit into my clothes, and I don't want to have to go and buy new clothes. But you could almost tell that there was something that was underlying. Or it was like there was some other reason that was there. And so I remember when you and I were coaching with her. You know, we would push her a little bit and say, well, you know, what does that mean, and what does that mean, and what does that mean? And what it came out was that really she wanted to lose 10 pounds because she had some power clothes that she wanted to fit into, which was sort of one of the you know, the other reasons. But really, what it was for her was she was approaching her 60th birthday, and she didn't want to feel old, right, with this approaching her 60th birthday, and that she was out of control because she had gained this weight and was finding it really hard. You know, she gained weight over COVID and stuff, and it was only 10 pounds. And I say only 10 pounds because I mean, you know, I've got like hundreds to lose. But it was only 10 pounds, but it really made a difference for her. And it was so interesting that, you know, by the time we went through the program and we did the exit interview with her, she didn't lose 10 pounds. She lost 14 pounds. And she had maintained that 14 pounds. And so when we were talking to her in the end, sort of asked her, so why do you suppose this happened? And she says, you know, honestly, the last time I was this weight for 20 years. And that was the weight she was at when she bought all of the power clothes that she wanted to get back into. But it was also the weight she was when she was in her mid-40s and she felt the most powerful. And so her body found that place for her. It wasn't lose 10 pounds. That wasn't the thing. It was I almost want to go back in age and feel like I felt when I was in my 40s. She didn't really talk about that as a motivation. And later, what it came out was that she didn't want to say that because she didn't want to disappoint herself. But instead, she just became the person that she was able to be when she was in her 40s. And then her weight found exactly where it needed to be. So the fact that she wanted to lose 10 pounds but lost 14 was like, well, that was magic. Well, no, but the magic was the reason that she lost 14 was to get back to something where she felt powerful. And so she almost reversed the aging process in her own physiological makeup because that's really what she was after. And it was really the plan that allowed her to take we never once said, you know, don't forget, you got to lose 10 pounds, 10 pounds, 10 pounds. It wasn't that. right? That was never the focus. The focus was simple. Are you tracking? Are you drinking your water? Are you eating in the hunger zone? And it was the support, the coaching that we offered. And all of that stuff was all shifted in such a way that all we wanted her to be was her best self. And for her, her best self was when she was in her mid 40s. And it was so interesting to see that, how that manifested itself in somebody who, by all accounts, was healthy and was happy, and she had a big job, and she had a lot of responsibilities, and very, very intelligent, super bright, but just couldn't get her head around this last little thing, and it was 10 pounds. And so, like, what it did for her was there was a magic to it, right?
transformational.
It's transformational. Not like, for me, it was transformational. 75 pounds makes a big difference, but for me, that wasn't the transformation. The transformation is what took place up here.
Right.
Right? It's that it's like Jim Rohn said, wouldn't it be nice to be a millionaire? Not for the money, but so you have the skills necessary to sort of become a millionaire. And it's the same sort of principle. I now have the tools and feel completely equipped to, whenever I do put on a little bit of weight or I get off track, I know exactly what works, because I can just go back to that thing. I wasn't deprived. I wasn't doing without. I wasn't feeling pressure. It was just being aware, right? That awareness piece, exactly like you're talking about, Rhoda, where, the awareness was all of this buildup for this chocolate, whatever it was, and then she had all of this buildup, and then she had it, and she's like, well, that wasn't worth it. And that's the awareness piece, right? I remember, I remember another incident of awareness happened with Joe, and so Joe was about to eat a hamburger, and instead of just eating the hamburger, she went over and she scanned the package and learned that this bun, just the bun, had like 560 calories in it. And she kind of looked at the bun, and it was a little sad, and it was sort of, and she thought, well, why would I want to waste 560 calories on a bun? So instead of having the bun, because it makes up 30% of what I'm going to consume today, instead of doing that, she ate the patty with the whatever else she had, and did without the 560 calories. In the past, what would have happened was she would have had that, eaten it, and then scanned it and thought, oh my God, I can't believe I wasted 560 calories on this. It wasn't worth it. What kind of an idiot am I? I'm so dumb. And then you start in that self-sabotaging, beating yourself up.
And now that I've done that,
Now that I've done that, it doesn't matter.
The cake that
Right.
goes with it.
Bring on the Oreo cookies, right? Or
Right.
bring on the ice cream, or bring on whatever, because it's over already, right? But the idea that the whole plan, the whole idea of weight mastery is just curiosity, right? It's just ask yourself the question. Come to it from a place of choice, which feels better for us. Right? It's not just automatic, it's choice. How many calories are in it? Do you want these calories or don't you? Yes, go ahead.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
And if it's no, that's okay too. So, I thought that, not thinking about the end in mind, like the numerical value of end, like the 160 for you or the 225 for me, it gave us freedom, right? There was freedom. We're not subject to a test where, well, we have to weigh in, we have to be perfect, we have to do these things. It's just be ourselves, and then figure it out and ask ourselves better questions. I thought that was fascinating.
And I remember Jane, when she sent the whole group a picture of herself in this power outfit, which was her motivation.
Yep.
And, she commented that I'm standing taller.
Yep.
I'm smiling.
Yep.
My shoulders are back. And I have that look in my eye. I don't have an aging, middle-aged woman look.
No.
She said, I have that sparkle in my eye. And she said, and I realize that comes from the inside.
Yes.
As I went through this transformational process of shedding the weight, I was actually able to turn the weight clock or the age clock back.
Yep.
Now I know I'm still 60, she said, but I don't feel 60.
Yep.
And Rhoda started the program looking for a partner and feeling subconscious and not feeling very attractive or very, having much to offer to a relationship, to now beaming and actually sharing the plan with somebody she met online.
Yep.
And the two of them did it together. And the whole different energy of feeling wanted and attractive and in control and confidence is mind-boggling.
Yep.
Totally mind-boggling. And it is about the weight, but it's more about how we feel knowing that we're showing up as a better version of ourselves than we did before. Like you said, going from being roommates in your marriage to not being roommates in your marriage, going from feeling unattractive to feeling attractive, from feeling old to feeling empowered and young again. And for me, transforming myself from a lost, seemingly out of control, aging person to somebody who's found with a purpose and not carrying all that baggage or self-talk about, yeah, but I'm overweight, yeah, but I can't, to I actually can, is such a gift.
Yeah.